Three of our favorites to talk about all of this. Paul Rieckhoff, who's the host of the Independent Americans podcast, is here with me in the studio. Also joined by two NewsNation political contributors, and Hahn and Lauren Wright. Paul, I'll start with you. The Wall Street Journal had a story today about, that's why I mentioned at the top when I was talking to Robert, about how we're entering perhaps a dangerous phase. Dangerous new phase of this conflict. We'll actually have one of the reporters, Doug Lieber, who wrote that story on in a few minutes. And that seems about right to me. You know, because now you got American assets at risk, including pilots. Luckily, they're okay. Of American bases being targeted by the Iranians. What's next?
Well, we've got 40% of our Navy in the region. We've got tens of thousands of troops there. We've got a powder keg that hasn't had a lid put on it. So anything could be next, I think, is the reality. You've still got missiles flying between countries. You've got airports being hit, and it's all very unstable. So I think we could be looking at an ongoing summer of violence and volatility and pressure back at home as gas prices and diesel prices continue to fluctuate. So the bottom line is this is still going. It's the worst ceasefire ever. They're still shooting at each other, and Americans are upset and frustrated, and apparently so is the president, but he hasn't been able to stop it.
Well, you're right about the pressure at home. On the telestrator, we always have this gas price. You know, we're down off the highs, but we're still up, as it says here, Lauren, by 39% since the start of the war to $4.15 a gallon. We had inflation today, three-year high. We're going to talk about it later in the hour. The president literally said, "No, I love the inflation." That was his quote. And then he said the reason for that was some quote, by the way, is that it's going to come down the price of, you know, gas and everything else very quickly when the war ends. But what about that part of it? I love the inflation, Lauren.
Oh, strange talking point. I would not have recommended it. But, you know, the sad part is I think the administration can still make the case in the ongoing days, and I agree with Paul that this might be about to get much more aggressive, that the Iranians are not playing a fair game here. They want to kill our armed services members. They want to kill innocent Israelis. They're going to start lobbing bombs into civilian centers. They're going to start going after their neighbors that didn't do anything. And so the case the president should be making, instead of, you know, essentially just telling Americans to shut up and it'll be over soon, is that Iran is a major threat. And here's what they're doing, and here are the values differences between us. And here's why they're not a rational actor and they're not trustworthy. He still hasn't made that from the very beginning. I'll continue to be critical of that, but he does have another chance here to go out to the American public and explain that.
Now, you come in on this, Chris, in the midst of a midterm election, because there's politics here as well. And the president talked about that Maine race where Graham Platner, I don't think it was surprising that he won, because, you know, the governor dropped out and the rest, but he's now in place to face Susan Collins. He has a lot of baggage, and the Democrats might not have nominated their best guy, right? That's the narrative going in. So the president's jumping on that from a political perspective, saying this about Platner. Listen to the president earlier, this guy Platner.
This guy's got a rap sheet. I've never seen anything like it. He's a thug. This guy's a thug. He's a low-level thug. And he's running to be a senator.
So here we go, Chris Hahn. Midterms are on.
Well, that was very helpful to Platner, if you ask me. But look, here's the thing about Maine. It is a small state. People are going to get to meet him. They're going to get to make up their mind about him based on interactions with him and speeches they may attend. There's going to be a lot of outside money for sure in this race. I have no doubt about it. But if this race is a referendum on Donald Trump and Susan Collins' support of Donald Trump, as I believe it will be, Graham Platner will win. Now, if they successfully make this a referendum on Graham Platner, Susan Collins will win. She has been around a long time and she's survived many challenges. But I think that right now the direction of this country, the right track, wrong track number is dismal for this president. The inflation number and his quotes about not caring about the inflation number, horrible. I wouldn't want to be running in a swing district right now if I was a Republican.
No, that makes sense. That last part's why I brought up the I love the inflation quote, because even if there is further context, that's what people are going to highlight to it when you say that, which is what he said earlier today. You know, primaries are interesting. I'll get you on this, Lauren, and then bring Paul back. We have two screens. I'll bring up the first. We talk so much about these candidates that President Trump has endorsed in the primaries, and they've gone on to win. Now, that could come back to bite him in trying to get his agenda through, which we talked about. You know who else has had quite a record of endorsing candidates in the primaries? Bernie Sanders. You know, this is Platner up here, but there's more. And all of these progressive candidates, Lauren, that Sanders has endorsed, and then all of the MAGA candidates that Trump has endorsed. What is their record, Trump and Sanders? Maybe tell us about where we are right now. Anything?
Well, I hope they turn out to be like Bernie Sanders if they win, because then they won't do anything once they get to Congress. He's statistically the least productive member of Congress that sponsors the least legislation, and it never gets across the line, whatever he does.
Lauren, you're just for the billionaire class.
These people that he's endorsing are really extreme in some cases. I know this NJ12 guy, that's my district. I just saw this election unfold. You know, I don't vote in Democratic primaries. I kind of wish I would have, because these are people with extreme views. He's testified on the blind sheikh's behalf, for instance. These are not winning candidates in a general election,
well,
but I'm glad Bernie's out there pushing them along.
I know you feel strongly about this issue, Paul, because you and I have talked about it before, about both parties really kind of going to the so-called fringe during primary season, right? And it kind of leaves out the middle.
The primary system is broken, and I'd go even further and say it's rigged. They're run by the parties.
Careful with that word.
No, it's important. It's important because they're run by the parties. They're the players. They're also the referees. When you have independent primaries that are voter-driven, like in California, like in Washington, like in Alaska, then you've got a fully fair playing field. What you've got in Maine here is a person who's very popular in the party, which has gone to the left. So Graham Platner is getting really good turnout from motivated progressives, but that's not all of Maine, right? And independents are very, very strong in Maine. They've got an independent senator in Angus King, and independents are ultimately going to determine this election and many others.
That's why it's a risk for the Democrats with this guy.
It is,
right?
Also because he's so far left.
Well.
Why not, Chris?
Well, look, the risk. Well, because independents are now giving Trump an approval rating in the 20s. And what is this election going to be about? I know Lauren disagrees with me somewhat, but not totally. I think it's about a referendum on Donald Trump, and
he has a Nazi tattoo, Chris. I mean, we're literally talking about
the worst
of the worst case candidates.
It's also a referendum on the Democratic Party too, and that's unpopular.
I don't think it's about him.
Yeah,
I think it's about Trump.
No, I think it is about him, especially with the Nazi tattoo and the history he's got.
Look,
that could be disqualifying for a lot of independents.
I'm the grandson of a Holocaust survivor. I have heard his explanation on that tattoo. I take him at his word on it. I don't think he's the best candidate.
And I'm a combat veteran, and I don't buy it.
I've never been to Maine. Mainers gave him a 73% over the board last night. And here's the thing we're missing here. The same thing with Trump and Sanders.
Right.
Populism seems to be on the rise on the left and the right.
Right. That was my point with the endorsements.
Are getting in.
That was my point with these endorsements for
populism.
Trump
and what's unpopular is the Democrats and Trump. That's what's going to be the determining factor.
Last topic here. The Epstein scandal, we know, is something that's been a big deal in this administration. At least we read about it in the New York Times today with this book excerpt that was out there from Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan. Now, it's a big deal on Capitol Hill as well. So Bill Gates is up there testifying. There had been this Epstein draft email to Gates, which reads as follows: to add insult to injury, you then implore me to please delete the emails regarding your STD. Your request that I provide you antibiotics that you give to Melinda, his then wife. And then Gates said this about showing up.
I'm glad to be here voluntarily to testify, to help with the committee's work. I'll start with an opening statement in the hearing room. I hope my testimony is helpful to the important work of the committee to find justice for the victims.
And, you know, and he went. Lauren, on this story, again, it hasn't gone away yet. How do you kind of look at it and put it in the proper perspective politically?
You know, I don't think it will go away. I feel bad for the Gates Foundation. They do an awful lot of work, and they really don't like this, and I don't blame them for that. But, you know, it also feeds into these sort of broader conspiracy-focused interests of the American public. It's not true that every tech CEO is on the Epstein Island and behaving like this, but Bill Gates was, and he's going to answer some questions, and I hope it is helpful to the victims, and I hope they get to the bottom of it, but I don't think it's over.
Chris?
Hard to say you didn't know a guy when you're sending him an email about your STDs and the medication and how you could serendipitously give it to your wife, right? And that seems to be like everybody who testifies. I didn't really know him. And then there's an email with them asking these, you know, this is highly personal stuff. You know, there's got to be more accountability here, and it's sickening, and it is not going away.
You're nodding on accountability, Paul.
Yeah, I don't need to know about Bill Gates' STDs, but I do need to know who's going to be held accountable.
Right.
And that's what's overwhelmingly popular across this country. People want accountability around Epstein. If you're connected to Epstein, you're going, now, interesting, Platner today went on the offensive on Epstein, right? But the problem is Susan Collins isn't directly connected to Epstein. So it's very, very much driving outrage across the country.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going away. Anybody connected to it is going down.
It's still there. You know, by the way, on a much, much lighter note, Paul's, I don't know, are you a Knicks fan, Hahn? You probably are, right? Or
100%, man. I've been
revolved.
My entire week's been set around these games.
Yeah, but, so Paul's a big Knicks fan, and it's funny when you were talking about politics before and saying stuff. Oh, the referees are doing. I thought you were going to go off on the officials in the Knicks series, but you were talking about.
I got an issue with them after that flagrant foul by Wemby. If it was anybody else, he'd be out of this game.
They have been bad to the Knicks all 3 games. The Knicks has just gotten away with it. You know, there's got to be some accountability on those refs right now.
Let me tell you, there's nothing a national audience likes more than a bunch of people from New York complaining about basketball officials. The ratings are going to skyrocket. Well, thank you, all of you. Like I said at the beginning, 3 of our favorites, Lauren, Chris, and Paul.
Go Knicks.
Go Knicks, 16 past the hour. We'll talk about that, and here's what we have coming up on NewsNation Live.